NBC Sports, home of the Olympic Games, the NHL, the PGA Tour, Premier League, and Primetime's #1 show, Sunday Night Football, only on NBC.
1265 Lombardi Avenue, the street address at Lambeau Field, and that's the way Lambeau Field is when you think about it. You close your eyes. Snow. Started snowing mid-afternoon. Snow removal stuff, which is always at the ready, has been at work. The tarp came off about an hour and a half ago, but guess what? The field has gotten snow covered pretty quickly. Ryan Tannehill and everybody ready to deal with it in a game with major playoff implications on both sides. It's Lambeau, it's Sunday Night Football, it's December. A couple of 10 and 11 win teams. The perfect setting for Football Night in America to kick off. Hi, everybody. Mike Tirico, Tony Dungy, Chris Sims, Rodney Harrison, Mike Florio's with us, Kornacki's with us, Chris Collinsworth, Catherine Tappan. Gang's all here. We are ready to roll. I am so excited to see snow at Lambeau. This is great. This is what we wait for, right?
Yes.
Another Christmas present for you. Before we get to all of that, not as big a slate, but a really important slate on this Sunday. Give me your headline from today.
Well, I'm going to go down to Jacksonville. The Chicago Bears, the emergence of the Bears offense. Mitchell Trubisky, 4 games in a row with 30-plus points, throwing the ball efficiently, aggressively down the field. They got the run game going, and Chicago's looking like they could be dangerous if they get in the playoffs.
Mike Florio.
How about Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce sets the single-season receiving yardage record for all tight ends and could still become the first tight end to ever lead the league in receiving yardage. I'll tell you what he had to say about what that could mean for the tight end position.
It's 38-year-old Ben Roethlisberger. He struggled in the first half, came back in the second half, 244 yards, 3 touchdowns, and I got to congratulate Mike Tomlin on another AFC North title. Don't even say it, Chris.
Watch out for those Baltimore Ravens. They have found their formula. They've got it back. Dominant running game, pressure defense. Pounded the ball for 249 yards rushing. Defense came up with 6 sacks.
Wow.
Watch out. The Ravens are back.
The good people in Northeast Ohio, you're thinking Christmas week, the Browns go to the 1-win Jets are in good shape, and then you wake up and you find out all these players are on the COVID-19 list because of contact tracing. And then the Browns go to the Jets with no wide receivers and lose. Tough one for Baker Mayfield. So all those results, plus the crazy games we saw yesterday, which included Arizona at home, the place where San Francisco is kind of subletting a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And the 49ers are the ones who looked at home with their victory, and Kyler Murray and the Cards have some work to do now. Then, late last night, the ultimate no-look pass.
Fitz, I see you.
What a comeback from Fitzpatrick. Yeah, the magic to make it happen for Miami. They knocked out Las Vegas. Miami's hopes are alive. Obviously, the Browns lost, and Tennessee playing tonight. All impacts a very complex AFC picture. That's why we turn to Mr. Kornacki. Steve is back with us to tell us how it shakes down. With Steve, 18 games left to go once we kick off Sunday Night Football.
And we really have almost chaos when it comes to the wild card here in the AFC. Let's take a look here. There are 4 teams right now that are sort of scrambling for the final 3 spots. You see, they're all 10 and 5. It's the same 4 teams that were scrambling for those spots a week ago. But look, the order is completely different. That Fitz magic last night. Look at that. It vaults Miami from nearly being out of the playoffs to now being in the 5th seed to having an 88% shot of making it. Baltimore, we've been saying for weeks, they've been knocking on the door. This week, they move into the 6th spot. Cleveland, for a while today, looked like they'd fall out altogether. Instead, it's Indianapolis that is on the outside looking in. So what does this set up for Week 17? Let's take a look here at the AFC picture next week. So here you go. Miami, Baltimore, Cleveland. For each one, very simple. Win next week, they are in the playoffs. That's all they have to do. Now, for Miami in particular, you see that 88% shot they now have. One of the reasons for that is they do have a tough game next week. Let's say they lose to the Bills next week. They could still make the playoffs because they're now in the 5th spot and control some tiebreakers. A Baltimore loss next week, Miami is in. A Cleveland loss, Miami is in. An Indy loss, Miami is in. So there are a lot of scenarios now for Miami to make the playoffs. For Baltimore, for Cleveland, it's a little more complicated. For Indianapolis, they need a win next week and help. They need either Cleveland to lose or Baltimore or Miami. They need one of those teams to lose. Then they could get in. Or the other team we're not mentioning here, the team playing tonight, Tennessee. If Tennessee collapses, loses their last 2 games, Indy could still win that division, could still get in, and Tennessee could affect some of these scenarios. But for Indy, they got to win, and they got to get some help. For these other 3 teams, win and they're in.
And Indy fans were not thinking that at all when it was 24-7 at halftime, and they were feeling good. Steve's back with us, a lot to dissect, including what's going on in the NFC East with Washington just about to lose to Carolina. Speaking of the NFC, You want to go to Green Bay to go play a playoff game? Go play in this snow. The feels like temperature is 18. It's going to snow through most of the game. As we go to Catherine Tappan, and one of the guys who would have been out on the field warming up without his shirt tonight, Chris Collinsworth. Hi, Catherine.
It feels like we're in a snow globe. Hi, Mike. How are you? Nice to see you.
How is he? He's in a heated studio. We know how he is.
Well, we get to see two of the top offenses in the NFL tonight, Chris, and two of the leading candidates for MVP. Let's start with Aaron Rodgers. He's a man on a mission this season.
Yeah, he really is. And I think he's really bought into this offense at this point now. A year ago, it was Aaron Rodgers scrambling around, trying to make plays. But now you see more of those five-step drops, get the ball out of his hand. And that's why he is now the front runner in the MVP race. And he has some weapons on the outside. Of course, you know about Devontae Adams. Just so magical between those two guys, especially when they get down around the red zone. That's where they've been really tremendous. And then Robert Tonyan, the tight end. 10 touchdown catches out of Robert Tonyan this year. Who would have ever figured Robert Tonyan is going to be the X factor for the Green Bay Packers in this season? And don't forget about Aaron Jones. We talk so much about Derrick Henry, but the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Jones has every bit the weapon in the run game that the Tennessee Titans do.
And for the Tennessee Titans, of course, all eyes are on Derrick Henry. What impresses you the most when you see him play?
Your eyes are blinking away there.
Blinking a lot here.
Derrick Henry is one of those guys, the first thing you notice about him, obviously 250 pounds of man coming down the field. But he is also somebody who runs 4.5. And he's got these little skinny legs, as his coaches describe him. So he has the moves. He has the quickness of an Aaron Jones. And yet he has 250 pounds. And when you start thinking about on this field, what could we see? They've got some great receiving weapons on the outside, too. A.J. Brown has been phenomenal. Catch and run guy, 225-pound guy. And Corey Davis finally living up to the reputation and what they thought he could be when they drafted him 5th overall. So there are so many offensive weapons. It is going to be a show for Tirico to sit back with his heat pad on and enjoy here tonight. I'm happy for you, Mike. Happy for you.
Well, our gift to you, Chris, is you get to go back up in the booth right now. However, the frozen tundra, it is not intimidating at all. For Titans center Ben Jones braving all the elements barefoot tonight. I don't get it, but hey, more power to him. Titans fans at home, they are nice and toasty, including former Titans legend Eddie George joining the party there in the middle. Football Night in America coming back next.
This is Football Night in America, served by Applebee's.
My cause is my 2-all foundation. I try to do anything I can to level the playing field for the youth, just being that helping hand for the youth. I was always that kid. Look for that role model. I want to be that for these kids, for these youth. They're our future. In any way my foundation can help, that's what I'm trying to do. And try to do anything I can to help these kids and anything I can do in the community.
I'm here for you.
Great off the field and on it, Derrick Henry. Full conversation with Derrick and Liam McHugh, available on NBCSports.com. Recently, our friends from Brother From Another, one of the shows streaming weekdays on Peacock, discussed the MVP race and Henry's chances to win the award.
Thanks so much. Michael Holley here, along with Michael Smith. We're about to have a brotherly disagreement because, Michael, it's time for the NFL to have a running back as its MVP. 11 of the last 12 MVPs have been quarterbacks. I'm telling you, Derrick Henry is the next MVP of the NFL because the Tennessee Titans are able to play in an unpredictable way because of Derrick Henry's excellence.
Hey, man, we're just coming off a presidential election, and you would have been one of those candidates who would have performed very well on the debate stage, but you wouldn't have got any votes. You wouldn't have made it out of the primaries because deserves got nothing to do with it, Michael Holley. The truth of the matter is, let's face it, it's a quarterback award. If this was about deserving, a defensive guy would win it, namely Aaron Donald. No matter how dominant Derrick Henry may be, one of 4 guys with back-to-back seasons of 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns in NFL history. In this league, Derrick Henry would have to block for himself, hand it to himself, and turn around and play defense. He'd have to play both ways. He'd have to defend Aaron Rodgers tonight in order to overtake a guy in Rodgers with 40 touchdowns and 4 picks, let alone Patrick Mahomes. It's a quarterback award, let's just face it.
But don't tell me that you're just going to accept it. It's a quarterback award. It's an election. You're here to promise change, and it's not going to be the same old status quo, right? Ryan Tannehill plays differently. A.J. Brown, so does Corey Davis. They all play play differently because of my guy, the MVP in 2020, Derrick Henry.
He'll be Offensive Player of the Year. This is how we get down every weekday, 3 to 5 Eastern on Peacock TV. His brother from another.
I want to pick up on Mike Holly's point there in a minute. First, let's show you all the MVP candidates. Mahomes didn't have the best day today, so perhaps that opens the door for Aaron Rodgers. If he has a big game tonight, Derrick Henry with a big game on this stage could convince some other voters. And we should throw Josh Allen in there for the incredible season he's had getting the Bills the division title. But when you have a guy like Henry with an MVP caliber season, what Rodney and Tony show you what it can do for an offense.
Yeah, Mike, Derrick Henry impacts everybody on the field, everybody on the defense. We're going to show you here. First of all, it's how you have to line up. When Derrick Henry is back here, you've got to put 9 guys up here near the line of scrimmage to defend him.
Hey, Coach, and this is the guy, the strong safety right here. Watch him. He's supposed to come up here and jam Corey Davis, but instead his eyes are in the backfield staring at Derrick Henry.
Yeah, because as soon as this action starts, he wants to get across here so he doesn't get stiff-armed and have you circle him getting blasted.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get posterized, but you look at Corey Davis, now he puts the free safety in a bind right here. Now he hits him with a double move, and I tell you, man, A.J. Brown gets all the attention, but this is the guy that's been their most consistent receiver.
You can see the protection, one-on-one out here, and it's all because of the fake to Derrick Henry that sets up big plays in the run game and the pass game. Chris, these guys are super explosive.
Super explosive. I've never seen an offense explosive built this way, where it's like, we're ground and pound. We can rip off a 70-yard run, but we can rip off a 70-yard pass to Corey Davis or A.J. Brown, like the guys talked of. It's fun to watch.
The impact of having Derrick Henry, the guy on the opposite sideline knows it. Matt LaFleur, the head coach of the Packers, he was the offensive coordinator in Tennessee a couple of seasons ago. Now it's his second year with Green Bay, and with he and Aaron Rodgers together, really love the way this offense has just elevated to another level this year.
I think so. I think it's the addition of offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett, and then what they have formulated too. We know about Rodgers' talents, his great arm, his ability to do things off schedule, all of that. But to me, what makes them so dangerous in this combination, they never waste plays, Mike. Yeah. They're always in the right play, the right situation. Oh, the defense is playing this. All right, Rodgers, we'll get you in the right play to combat that defense and make a big play. And that's where they put so much pressure on you because they waste no plays. They're very efficient that way.
I talked to Aaron a couple of times from doing squats and getting his legs right to balance to accuracy to the mental part. Never seen him in a place like this, and everything is coming together. Yeah. Rodgers looking for MVP number 3 in season 16. At 37, he's never been afraid to tell it like it is.
My name is Ezra Cornell, and I'm just a kindly old fellow with a song in my heart.
No, you're a middle-aged man with a lot of makeup on.
Busted.
Flag on the play.
Got it, yes. All right. Trying to get your attention with tricks.
Aaron, the actor, part of every episode of The Office, which is coming New Year's Day to Peacock, the streaming service of NBC Universal. Sign up and stream peacocktv.com. Binge The Office. The scene outside of Lambeau, snow coming down, expected to do that for most of the game. Packers and Titans, big one on Sunday Night Football. Mike Vrabel, what a job he's done checking out the field. This is a Vrabel kind of game, too. Be out there on the line, catching touchdowns as a tight end, all that good stuff. David Bakhtiari is a pretty good offensive lineman. His defense has to stop. Here's David with Catherine a short time ago.
David, late December weather here in Green Bay, just as you guys like to order it. Are you going no sleeves tonight?
Always.
The Packers are in the driver's seat for the #1 seed in the NFC playoffs. And without fans in attendance this season, how does that play into the advantage of the Green Bay Packers?
I mean, you're looking at it right here. This is Lambeau Field for a reason, the frozen tundra. So, of course, we miss our fans, and we can't wait to have them back. But we definitely have an advantage, and this is definitely going to be a playoff atmosphere here tonight.
Aaron Rodgers is having an MVP caliber season. What is he doing better this year in his 16th year in the NFL?
Really just being him, being consistent, understanding and mastering the offense, and orchestrating it the way that you guys are viewing it and enjoying it week in and week out. And he's put himself in an MVP conversation, and frankly, taking home the MVP trophy this year.
David, speaking of your quarterback, we know that he's known to give you guys very significant gifts around the holidays. So was there anything special under your tree for Christmas this year?
Yeah, he was nice enough to gift all of us. It was a little more on the sentimental side. He also I'll start off with the fun stuff. You got us a couple golf clubs, custom set, some nice liquor, whiskey, and then depending on the certain guys, you got a couple guys, some TVs, some Theraguns, and then the thing that I enjoyed the most, being in my 8th year, he gave us all custom photos with a hymn and then a special message and a nice frame. I thought that was really sentimental and something that, you can't put a price on, but it was much appreciated.
That's wonderful. David, thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Man, I'll play one snap for Rodgers if I get all that. What a windfall. Rodney Cincy in Houston. Ryan Finley won the game on Monday night, but was out with injury. Brandon Allen played. Got it to T. Higgins.
Yeah, I give head coach Zach Taylor a lot of credit. His Bengals team continues to play hard despite the loss of Joe Burrow.
I agree with you. Fourth quarter, Texans down 3. Deshaun Watson, same mode, playing hard. To Darren Fells for his 4th of the year.
Yeah, look at the effort right there by Darren Fells. Deshaun Watson had a great year despite having the worst defense in the NFL.
Broke Matt Schaub's record, 30 touchdown passes. So Houston's got the lead by 4 later in the 4th. Samaje Perine's going to run it in. 136 total yards, 2 TDs. It's 2 wins in a week for Cincinnati as they beat Houston. Tony, Denver, LA just ended. Justin Herbert, what a season.
Yeah, I saw him as a senior at Oregon. Tremendous young man and a great player. I never dreamed he would be this effective so early on in his career.
So that touchdown pass to Austin Eckler, number 28, NFL rookie record. We'll show you the company in a second. Denver came back. Michael Badgley's missed the most field goals in the league, made this one.
Finally,
the Money Badger knocked it through. Chargers to 3rd, Broncos to 4th. So Herbert breaks Baker Mayfield's record, past Peyton and Russell Wilson as well. 28 touchdowns in his rookie season. 1 more game to go for the Chargers. They go to Kansas City on Sunday. Did I say Kansas City? And Football Night continues. We're going to talk about the early games. That includes Patrick Mahomes and the Super Bowl champs, who locked down the 1 seed in last-second fashion. And then Big Ben and the Steelers down early. What a comeback. Could mean a lot come January.
This season, the Lowe's home team is bringing 32 players representing each team across the league together to support community building projects that highlight the cultural fabric of their respective hometowns. The projects have included building beds for children in need, rebuilding after natural disasters in communities, making critical home repairs, and community projects supported by local Lowe's stores. For more information on each of these projects, visit lowes.com/hometeam.
For the end zone. Touchdown! Over the shoulder catch. Flag to the finish line. Everybody get ready when you hear that sound. Touchdown! It's go time. Y'all set the tone. Get it in when it's go time. Everybody come around. This is the day it's going down. No more waiting. We can't relax. It's go time. We can't hold back. Unbelievable. Everybody get ready when you hear that sound. Touchdown! It's go time. Wow.
This is Football Night in America, served by Applebee's.
Big game, best setting possible. Snow at Lambeau. Look at this.
It's easy for you to say.
Oh, this is so good. This is going to be so much fun. With huge importance for both the Titans and the Packers on Sunday Night Football. Packer fans know the deal. Keep winning, get that number 1 seed. Make everybody come through there. Kansas City's trying to lock down the AFC 1 seed today. Chris Sims, let's show everybody what happened. Atlanta, 4-10, no shot, right? Mahomes and the Chiefs will take care of business. Not so much. Tough game. 4th and 1. They're going to try to go for it here and go trickeration.
I like the trickeration idea. I don't know. This might be a little overdoing it. The quarterback throwback on 4th and 1. Yes, I don't love that. You got Le'Veon Bell. I'd be okay with that, too.
It turned into a Keanu Neal pick. They got the ball down there at the 2. They drove 98 yards, scored, tied the game 7-7. So second half, they've got work to do. And Fueye Oluokun has had a great season with a pick.
Great year for them. Maybe the best player on the Falcons defense. And Mahomes lately, we've seen a few of these mistakes. You see Tyreek Hill running him down. He's as fast as there is in football. We know that. But I am not accustomed to seeing Mahomes make those type of mistakes.
All right, game on. 4th quarter. It's Kansas City only by 3. It's Matt Ryan, Laquan Treadwell. Tie game.
Right? I mean, we had to go, what? Laquan Treadwell's still on the team, but great job by Matt Ryan there, sticking it in there.
So Atlanta's up at 4. They've got it back. Mahomes to Kelsey, a record-setting day, broke George Kittle's record. Most receiving yards by a tight end. He got so open on a 3rd and 10.
Well, it's the game matters now. So Kansas City's interested, and the pedal's back on the metal, and now it looks like they've been executing all game. That's what's amazing about them and frustrating.
Getting close to the 2-minute warning, almost a pick. A.J. Terrell couldn't hang on. The Falcons challenged this. This was the worst challenge of the year. No way that was going to be overruled.
No way.
New life for the Chiefs. Next play on the other side of the 2-minute warning. Mahomes, Demarcus Robinson, game winner.
You can't give him a second chance. Are you kidding me? And just throws a laser to Demarcus Robinson here. Look at this breakdown. This is the effect of Hill and Kelsey. The safety in the middle of the field, he's following Mahomes' eyes because he likes to throw to Hill and Kelsey. Let me go over there. Mahomes knows that. He looks him over there to open this play up specifically down the field. Easy touchdown.
What the heck is the corner doing playing outside technique?
I don't know. You're right.
3-point game. Atlanta drove it back down the field. They were so close. This is like the Falcons the last couple of years. So close. Young Waku, Pro Bowl kicker, chip shot.
What?
Slice. Loss. He had made 27 straight until that. The Atlanta Falcons season in a second there. The Kansas City Chiefs, the #1 seed, got to go to Arrowhead to get to the Super Bowl in the AFC. Tony, do you feel as good on the Sunday after Christmas as you did on the Sunday after Thanksgiving about the Chiefs?
I don't, Mike, because I see some of the same things I saw in Pittsburgh when they were 8-0, 9-0, 10-0, scraping by in close games. Chris Sims mentioned it. Mistakes, and Patrick Mahomes is getting hit far too much in the pocket.
I look at him, and I think they need to focus on running the football. The injury to Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a major one because there's such a significant drop-off from him to Le'Veon Bell to Williams. So I think they got to commit to running the football, Mike.
Good news is they'll get the extra week now that they have the 1 seed. That's the only bye in this 17th playoff.
And they can turn it on when they want to.
Yes, they can, as we saw down the stretch.
You complaining?
One of the reasons they can is because of Travis Kelce. Mike, you spoke to him. He was reflective on this record day.
Well, that's right. He has the record now for single season receiving yardage for a tight end. He said he's more focused, though, on team goals. Wants to help the Chiefs get better and better, wants to pursue championships after his career is when all of these things will settle in. But I also asked him, are you aware of the possibility you'll be the first tight end to lead the entire league in receiving yardage? He said, I am, because guys like you mention it. But he also pointed out that it's good for the tight end position. He thinks there aren't enough offenses that embrace tight ends. There aren't enough quarterbacks that trust tight ends. So he's basically becoming the ambassador on behalf of all tight ends to all quarterbacks and offensive coordinators out there, guys.
Chiefs done with road trips until the Super Bowl if they get that far. Green Bay Packers trying to be in the same situation, the #1 seed. Yeah, let's talk it here, because when we head out there, that's what's waiting, a wall of white on a snowy night.
Look at them boys.
Football Night in America is brought to you by Applebee's Holiday Gift Cards. Redeem online or in restaurant. And by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Well, on this snowy night in Green Bay, we remind you it's a great football week. All-American Bowl Declaration Day, Saturday, 3 Eastern, the future stars of the league. 9 of the top All-Americans are going to announce their college declarations. It's All-American Bowl Declaration Day on NBC. Remember back when Derrick Henry was in high school?
Yeah,
Rodney, you remember this?
Hey, Mike, I was scared. I mean, even in high school, he was standing behind me. He looked like he should be in the pros.
Could not believe he was in high school.
At a Yulee, Florida, over 11,000 yards when he was in high school. You'll see the real man tonight on Sunday Night Football against Green Bay in a little bit. Chris, let's look at Cleveland and the Jets. The Jets finally got that win last week. All the COVID list players out for Cleveland. Their wide receiver room decimated. 37 of 53 Baker Mayfield passes went to running backs and tight ends.
Yes, it was a struggle all day long, and you would think, hey, we're going to be able to run the football. You see here, there was inconsistencies in the pass game, and they couldn't run the ball. They had to rely on Baker Mayfield throwing to a lot of these no-names to move the ball throughout the day.
Yeah, guys called up from the wide receivers. One, Marvin Hall, was cut by the Lions. Meantime, the Jets were doing their thing. Sam Darnold, Jamison Crowder, it's 20-3.
Nice throw by Sam Darnold, and Fireman Ed's pumped up. Let's get it going, Jets, Jets.
Even on the video screen, right? But the Browns do get the offense in gear. Nick Chubb punches it in, makes it a 10-point game.
Yep, nice touchdown run here, and you're thinking, okay, Cleveland's got control of this football game, and they're going to find a way to win.
Kareem Hunt took it down to 20-16. The extra point was missed. Down 4 late in the fourth. It's Terrell Basham coming in, pressuring Mayfield. They get it out and the Jets come up with a big turnover.
Big play by the defense, but it's the theme of the day. Not being able to find rhythm and consistency with the pass offense with all those guys out led to Baker holding the ball and eventually getting strip sack fumble.
So the Jets added a field goal there, 23-16. You see it's 4th and 1. Mayfield fumbles the ball here as they're going in. Last 2 minutes, 4th down. He has to be the one who recovers it, so it goes back to the spot of the fumble. That means it is ball game. And the Jets beat the Browns. We'll talk more about the impact for Cleveland here in a moment. They still have a good chance to get into the playoffs. Tony, Chicago and Jacksonville. Mitchell Trubisky facing off against his former teammate Mike Glennon in Jacksonville. Jacksonville in it early, but then Chicago's offense kicks in. Jimmy Graham, the touchdown.
Yeah, big touchdowns in the red area. Graham has given them a lift down there.
I'm going to nominate this for top 10 TD catch of the year. DJ Shark.
Reminded me of Lynn Swann in Super Bowl 10. Get those feet back in bounds. Hard to do.
What year was that?
How do you remember that? How do you remember
what?
that?
Were dinosaurs alive then?
A little while ago.
You've watched NFL films your whole life.
1940?
Pipe down over there. Old school Bears. Montgomery, the touchdown run for the 5th straight game. He's over 1,000 yards. Tony, they're back to a little more of their mixture, running and defense.
They really are. And the defense stepped up. Roquan Smith had a big day, but it's really David Montgomery in the run game energizing this team.
And Trubisky looks like a different guy.
Well, when you get these type of play-action passes, that gives you one-on-one. And we said Jimmy Graham in the red zone. But this is what Mitch Trubisky could do. This is what they expected from him.
Bears beat Green Bay at Soldier Field next week. Oregon and Arizona lost, and they're in the playoffs. Let's simplify the game, powered by Microsoft Surface. What's going on with that offense?
Well, I think it's about the attitude that we like, Rodney, right? About the Chicago Bears offense. Matt Nagy, Mitchell Trubisky, the running game specifically, and we're seeing multiple personnel sets on the field.
And they decide to get their big people in there. You see those 2 tight ends. And David Montgomery, he's been awesome. He's been directly responsible for this turnaround, Chris.
No doubt about it. Guys on bodies downfield. Montgomery making the right cuts. Big play there for the Bears. Then the boot game that's been so impressive.
Play action boots. And even when the guy is not open, Mitchell Trubisky, he's playing with so much confidence. He just decides to tuck it and just finish the play.
That's right. Get him on the edge. Make him a dual threat guy. That's what he does best. You're exactly right, Rodney. And then we got the play action pass. Keep the tight end in, and that creates favorable matchups downfield.
And Coach Dungy just talked about Jimmy Graham and just how athletic. And, I mean, he's playing like he's 25 years old. That was a great play by Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, great play.
I want you to remember, guys, 5 weeks ago, Mitchell Trubisky was benched and just coming back. Matt Nagy was done, and all of a sudden, Chicago's turned it around. But Steve Kornacki, you can give us a better path of how the Bears are a win over Green Bay next week and into the playoffs.
You got whiplash on this playoff roller coaster for the Bears. Let's take you through what it's been like. They were 5-1 out of the gate this year. October 18th, they had nearly an 80% chance at that point, it looked like, of making the playoffs. Then nearly 2 entire calendar months of losing. 6 straight losses for the Bears. That brought you into December. They were in their playoff chances were on life support in early December. Then they get those 2 wins. They knock off Houston and Minnesota. It puts them back in the playoff picture, and things have changed in a big way in the last 48 hours. Check this out. Last night, Arizona losing to San Fran, that alone put Chicago over 50% their playoff chances. It opened the door if they could take care of business against Jacksonville today, which you just showed us they did. So now the Bears with a 70% chance of making the playoffs. As you say, a win or an Arizona loss. The only break the Bears didn't get today, Seattle took care of business, knocked off the Rams. That means the Packers are probably going to have to play next week to get that top seed against Seattle. It means the Bears playing the Packers next week. Probably not going to get a pass in that one with the Packers resting folks.
Right, but Arizona plays the Rams, and the Rams are going to need that now for their hopes as well. Steve will break that stuff down in a little bit. I want to go spin to the AFC. Cleveland's still in if they can win next week. They play Pittsburgh. Tony, the folks in Northeast Ohio had to be so disappointed to hear about all the receivers and 2 linebackers out because of COVID-19 contact tracing. Look at the impact on the offense, way down in all the stat numbers, but percentage of plays with 2 or fewer receivers, almost every play they ran compared to just over half, it really changed their approach to the game today.
And they did not have a chance to work on this. These guys were up and ready to go. Your coaching staff has a game plan, and then all of a sudden Saturday, you say they can't play. Very, very tough on them. We can only hope that all these guys get back and they can have their full complement against Pittsburgh on Sunday.
And with a full complement, can they beat Pittsburgh at home on Sunday?
They can. This is an explosive team. They're exciting. I want to see them at their best with everyone.
Well, there are a bunch of win and get in playoff games in week 17. It's going to be fun next Sunday. It's going to be fun this Sunday night. Aaron Rodgers says, why do we want the 1 seed even though there are no fans? Come on up to Green Bay and play in this in the playoffs. He does it tonight.
simplify the game. Powered by Microsoft Surface, the official sideline technology provider of the NFL. This is Football Night in America. Served by Applebee's.
As we welcome those of you who watched Dallas and Seattle get home wins, it's time to check the buzz, presented by Applebee's. Kansas City locked down the 1 seed. Chicago put themselves in a win-and-in situation next week. Cleveland, decimated with their roster, loses to the Jets. Pittsburgh wins the division. Let's check the Giants in Baltimore from earlier. Chris Sims, Lamar Jackson. Starting with Hollywood Brown and continuing through the first quarter and a half, I just felt like I was watching Lamar from last year.
Agreed. I mean, we saw some great runs, and they're finally getting some wide receivers involved in their offensive game plan.
Jackson, 17 of 26, throwing 183 yards, 2 touchdowns. Maybe this is where we saw it the most, Chris. Lamar Jackson, patient, and then ready to run with authority.
No doubt about it, Mike. I mean, this is what we did see in 2019, certainly. He doesn't like what he sees downfield. He's not going to force the issue with his arm, and his legs are awesome.
Here comes J.K. Dobbins' 7th touchdown of the season now.
Yes, he's added a great element to their offense. He's another speed guy, but as you can see, he can run with power, too.
That's a rookie record for the Ravens. Fourth quarter, Ravens up 14. Des Bryant back-to-back weeks.
Whoa, the X is back. That's right. And they need him. They need another wide receiver involved in this offense. It can't always be Lamar and running the ball.
Daniel Jones was back in. He was not as mobile as we have seen him earlier in the year. We know the leg injuries he's been dealing with. But Baltimore's defense also started to round a corner to playoff form.
I think so. They're healthy. They're energized right now. And they totally dominated the front of the New York Giants football team today. Daniel Jones had no chance.
There's 3 sacks in a row, 6 on the day. Baltimore in with a win at Cincinnati. The Giants' loss means Washington wins and they get the division. So Dwayne Haskins stripped of his captaincy this week. Ron Rivera still has him starting at quarterback. It's 4th and 10. We got no score, and we're going to have a punt here. Steve Sims muffs it. It's recovered by Brandon Zylstra, the receiver in the end zone. A special teams touchdown.
Whoa. And Washington, we know, is usually the team that does this. They're the team that usually plays through their defense and gets turnovers like this. Nice cheap one for Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, Washington miscues story of the day. Haskins here. Taylor Whitehead comes up good. Ups with the pick.
Yes, Dwayne Haskins struggled. You see here, Mike, staring down the receiver. Also just over-aggressive. Look at the back in the flat over there. Antonio Gibson's open. No reason to force that ball at 13-0.
Washington turned it over 4 times in the first half. Bridgewater, Robbie Anderson, 14 yards, 20-0 Carolina.
Yeah, Bridgewater's smart, efficient, and he has weapons at his disposal at the receiver position.
Fourth quarter, Haskins benched. Taylor Heineke comes in, 4th year out of Old Dominion. The offense actually functioned pretty well. Remember, he played with the Panthers a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Here he is to J.D. McKissick for a 29-yard score.
I mean, great job by a guy who hasn't played this long, buying time, being patient like that, moving around, and makes a great throw for a touchdown.
Of course, no Alex Smith with the calf injury penalty, so it got to midfield for the onside kick, recovered by DJ Moore. Carolina has played hard throughout the year for Matt Rule. They do it today, go to Washington and win. That means the winner of Dallas-Philly is still alive. The loser is out. To Arlington we go. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles looking to keep their playoff hopes alive. It's Hurts to Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun looked like he turned back the clock on this 81-yard touchdown.
He can still go, and Jalen Hurts with just a phenomenal deep ball right there. Throwing it up high, letting a guy that's got a lot of speed go get it.
Deshaun.
He's doing flips in the end zone.
Fresh legs.
That's a good point. Thanks, Rod. All right, so Philly's on top here, 14-3. Andy Dalton starts bringing it back to Michael Gallup for 21 yards.
Weapons, speed on that offense of Dallas. They really had it going.
Now, Fletcher Cox came out of this game with a stinger. They were missing defenders at all 3 levels. Dallas took advantage. It's Gallup again, had 121 yards and 2 scores in the first half. Now it's Dalton and CeeDee Lamb for 52.
Who do you cover right now? With the way Andy Dalton's throwing the ball and these Cowboys receivers, it's tough to match up against them. CeeDee Lamb, great rookie year.
Dallas be a play. Yes, they can be a playoff team. Fourth quarter, Eagles down 13. Hurts looking for Travis Fulgham. Intercepted. Anthony Brown with the pick.
Yeah.
The Dallas Cowboys have won 3 in a row. Time for doing good in the neighborhood. Presented by Applebee's. The Eagles are eliminated with Tony and Rodney. Dallas is still alive.
They are, and they're getting some big plays on offense. As Chris Sims mentioned, we're going to show you the play that really broke the game open, CeeDee Lamb's touchdown. And Rodney, the first thing we'll see here is a little motion that tells quarterback Andy Dalton exactly what's going on in the secondary.
Yeah, but I want you to look at the defensive back, and instead of playing his technique, focusing on his guy, he peeks in at the quarterback and looks in the backfield, Coach.
Dalton knows it's man-to-man. He's trying to get a jam here. Very shifty receiver. And CeeDee Lamb just beats him right here, but that's what you're saying.
Yeah, he's looking in the backfield. Mind your business. This is CeeDee Lamb. He's a baller, dude.
Eights. Your eyes should be right on those 2 8s and stay with him. It is all over right there. No help downfield. Andy Dalton finds him. This broke the game open. Philadelphia, good effort, but they did not have enough secondary people to match up, Mike.
Yeah, Jim Schwartz and the defense were compromised throughout. So here's the deal in the NFC East. Washington at Philly. Washington wins, they're in. What happens if they lose? Cowboys win, they're in. If they lose on the other side, the Giants will have that opportunity to break a 6-10 three-way tie and get it. It's not pretty, but it's getting interesting. And Dallas, Chris, 30, 41, and 37 points the last 3 games. If you ask me right now, who looks the best? It's Dallas the last 3 games.
Agreed. I think you got to go with them right now. I mean, the defense isn't getting totally annihilated like we saw earlier in the year, and the offense does have it going. Like we saw in those highlights there, receivers are talented. And the other big thing right now is the Giants, the football team, they're really struggling on the offensive side of the ball, scoring points. That's why I'd probably favor Dallas going into Week 17.
Will Alex Smith, if he can come back, matter for Washington? Right. That'll be the huge deal with Washington at Philly, Dallas at the Giants, and the NFC East on the line on Sunday, number 17. Time for Sunday night, $700,000 up for grabs. Rodney, help the good people post-Christmas. Devontae Adams, how many catches, how many yards?
I'm going to 6 to 7 receptions. It's cold, it's snowy, and all that stuff, but that's Devontae Adams.
Yards?
70 to 94. He's not going to reach 100, but 70 to 94, Mike.
All right, Rodney's helped you, folks. So there you go. Make your picks on the NBC Sports Betting Graph. More football night after this.
Doing good in the neighborhood. Presented by Applebee's. Welcome to the Hyundai Sunday Night Kickoff.
He is a monster. We want more. Let's go. We want more. 319. Hit him in the mouth.
Around this time, it's playoff football, and that's the most exciting time.
Henry with a stiff arm throws a man down. Oh, my.
The challenge really becomes beating the best.
Driving his way. Oh, have some of that. How did he do it?
You definitely want to leave a great legacy behind.
This isn't just a dream. You can't touch me now.
Great stiff arm. Take some of that. He is the baddest man.
We know what's at stake.
I feel very comfortable in those situations.
Aaron Rodgers has done it again.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is the king.
There are stars and there are superstars.
Superstars indeed. 2 MVP candidates face off at Lambeau Field in what feels like 16 degrees and snow, reflecting the final weekend of December in Green Bay, which is exactly why Aaron Rodgers has his eyes set on locking up the number 1 seed and securing a first-round bye, forcing teams to go through this frozen tundra en route to the Super Bowl. Rodgers has played in 4 NFC Championship games, all of them on the road. As we take you on the field, presented by Hyundai, and zero in on the future Hall of Famer who continues his campaign for MVP. Earlier tonight, David Bakhtiari told me Rodgers is enjoying this offense week in and week out. And Mike, he predicted that Rodgers would take home that MVP trophy.
Catherine, that weather you talked about, Rodgers loves it, I should say. It also feels like a Derrick Henry kind of game. He needs 321 yards over the final 2 to become the 8th player to get 2,000 yards on the ground in a season. What a matchup. MVP candidates, double-digit team wins this year. Tennessee and Green Bay coming up on Sunday Night Football. Let's get to the highlights, guys, of a very important game in the NFC West. This impacted Green Bay, too, because Seattle's still alive for the 1 seed if they can get this win over the Rams. Jared Goff early, with the Rams up 3, looking for Robert Woods. Quandre Diggs going to come up with the interception.
It's 6-3. It's a defensive struggle. You're in field goal position. What are we doing?
I knew Sims would do that. We're all tied at 6 as we go to the 3rd quarter. Russell starts to cook here. Here's Wilson to David Moore for 45.
He was under duress all day, but he made these kind of plays out of the pocket. This is what Russell Wilson does.
Yeah, Tony, this was like a playoff Russell drive. They moved it down the field, the good pass, the great catch, and then he finishes it off.
Yeah, bootleg, everything's covered, nothing there. I'll take it in and store. Russell Wilson effect.
All right, so Seattle's on top 13-6 later in the third. The Rams are on the move, deep in Seahawks territory. Darrell Henderson with the run. This is a good run. Almost gets there. He's down at the 1.
Watch the speed and the hustle of Jamal Adams. He gets on the line. He's safe. This is taken as a regular play, but this was probably the biggest play of the game.
You know why? Because it's set up 4th and goal, and they go for it, and Malcolm Brown is stuffed.
Yeah, this is an excellent job by the defense, front 4, just pressure, flying around, playing with energy, and Jamal Adams is a big part of that.
All right, so Seattle got the ball back, didn't do much with it. Rams added a field goal. It's 13-9, over 6 minutes left. It's Russell again, Tyler Lockett.
Right, trying to close the game out. They had been running the ball pretty effectively. Now you go play action against the zone coverage. Lockett's open. Wilson hits him perfectly.
It's when the Rams needed that top-ranked defense to hold them to just a field goal. It's 3rd and 4. They just got to get off the field, and it's Wilson, Jacob Hollister, big touchdown here.
Aaron Donald is coming scot-free, but Wilson gets rid of it, and Hollister makes the winning touchdown right in the corner of the end zone.
The Seattle Seahawks with the win. They win the West. The Rams are backsliding, trying to stay alive. Metcalf and Rams, another good battle between those two. Packers in, still working for that 1 seed. Saints in. Seattle wins the division. Washington, Dallas, the Giants alive for the NFC East. Tampa's in. Rams, Arizona next week. Bears as well. Bears, Rams get the win, get to the playoffs. Jumping to the AFC, the big game over there was Indianapolis and Pittsburgh. Guys in the class of 2004 still going. Roethlisberger and Rivers trying to get their teams to the playoffs. Tony, here early on, Pittsburgh's defense steps up.
Yes, offense was struggling. T.J. Watt around the corner with the strip sack. Big play.
Phillip Rivers had not lost many fumbles, but Mike Hilton returned that. It's the first lost fumble as a Colt, first in 18 games. So James Conner on that ensuing drive gets in, ties the game at 7, his first touchdown since week 8. Time now for the Progressive Game Flow. And Chris, as we look at this game flow presented by Progressive, let's focus in on Jonathan Taylor, a guy you've had your eye on all year.
Yeah, running with attitude, been a big part of why this offense has been so dangerous as of late. Big, powerful, and has speed to go along with it, Mike.
So that put the Colts on top, 6 touchdowns in his last 4 games, and the offense clicking up top as well. Zach Pasco here.
Great throw, but it starts with Jonathan Taylor again. The play action fake, and this is not easy. To pick up a blitzer on the other side of the quarterback after that fake, he deserves a lot of credit for the success of that play.
So Rivers and the Colts are rolling. That Sunday night game flow presented by Progressive. Don't look down. It's 24-7 Indianapolis. They were in complete command and control of this game. This was big. 4th and goal. They go for it. Pass broken up. So 20 minutes left in the game. Down 17. Ryan Shazier's watching. He's saying what a lot of Steelers folks are saying.
They can't run the ball.
Run the ball.
They said, no, don't run the ball. Throw deep.
And Deontay Johnson gets it. This was big in your mind, Tony.
Yes, it was. First time they actually took a shot, and that opened things up.
All right, so the lead is down to 10. Then it's Roethlisberger and Eric Ebron. Another drive where the tempo picked up. They were passing it. Now a 3-point game. And then Cam Hayward comes up with a big sack.
Yeah, the Indianapolis offense in the second half was really stymied. Pittsburgh stepped up with the pressure.
So the Steelers get the ball back. All the momentum with the black and gold. It's Roethlisberger. First down shot. Juju Smith-Schuster. Pittsburgh takes the lead.
Got to have more of this, Mike. If they want to make a run in the playoffs, they got to be able to push the ball down the field with that pass game.
3 touchdowns in 10.5 minutes. Now it's up to Phillip Rivers. After Pittsburgh took the lead, it's a pick thrown by Rivers.
It's 1st and 10. It's 6 minutes left. There's
Only
no
take
reason.
a shot if he's wide open.
Exactly right.
How about running the football?
They get it back late, 4th and long. Zach Pasco couldn't pick that one up. And Roethlisberger and the Steelers from down 17 to an AFC North winning game. Pittsburgh beats Indianapolis. So Chiefs, Steelers, Bills have all won the division. Tennessee wins the division if they win at Lambeau tonight. Wild card side, there you got Miami, Baltimore, and Cleveland all still in that position. The Colts significantly impacted by that loss today on the outside. Tony, Chris?
Well, we watched, Chris, that Pittsburgh offense really struggle in the first half. Nothing up the field, just shallow crosses, short passes, quick outs. And then in the second half, they got aggressive and took some shots down the field, and that's what changed the game.
Right. I mean, I don't think we sit here and think they're going to be able to change into a running team at this point of the year, right, Coach? So they got to change how they attack in the pass game. And this is what we like. We saw a one-on-one shot down the field. Big Ben can still push the ball down there.
And we've been calling for this the whole game, right? Chase Claypool, get him the ball, take some shots up the field.
Yes, he should be the go-to guy in the offense. And what I love about this here, too, Kept the tight end in the block, aggressive shot, Juju Smith-Schuster. We know they're going to throw the football. It just can't be 5 yards over the middle all the time. They got to give a little diversity to their look.
And that diversity helped the offense, and Mike Florio has some information on what helped the defense in that second half.
Oh, I spoke to T.J. Watt after the game, and it's amazing when you consider, here we are in Week 16, but teams that are playing in empty stadiums are still having a hard time getting that lawnmower going, getting the energy necessary each and every week. And Watt said that it is critical. It's one of the reasons they fell behind today. Everyone has to bring the energy. They have to bring it individually as a unit. They have to have it on the sidelines. They finally got it going today. But that is something, now that the Steelers are going to have a home playoff game, it could be an issue come January. And as to Watt, 2 sacks. He's got 15 for the year. I asked him if he should be a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. His brother JJ has 3 of those awards. TJ said, I don't care about that. I'd rather win the Super Bowl.
JJ put that out there on social media, all the stats of TJ. So, Rodney, Seattle won their first 5, then hit a rough spot. Now they won 5 of their last 6. Are you seeing championship-level defense?
I'm starting to see it. And Chris Sims over there, he reminded me that since the Buffalo game, they really stepped their game up. But to me, it's Jamal Adams. He's come in. He's given them energy. He's healthy. They gave up a lot to give him, to get him. Right. It's paying off. And you see the pass rush. It's really affecting the pass rush as well.
Looks like he fits now. It kind of feels like an old-school Seattle team.
Absolutely.
So, all right, so we've given you some of the playoff picture stuff. We don't have it all. Kornacki's got it all. He does the math in his head, too. Playoff picture when we come back.
Sunday Night 7 on the NBC Sports Predictor app is giving away money. Lots of it. Predict what will happen on Sunday Night Football for a chance to win $100 grand. That's right, $100,000 up for grabs every contest, and it's free to play. Just download the NBC Sports Predictor app, and you could be the next big winner.
Well, quote, those were warm-ups. Now they go warm up before heading out into the snow in Lambeau. Tennessee and Green Bay, huge playoff implications both sides. But first we have the best of Week 16, brought to you by Verizon, the 5G America's been waiting for. Best of starts yesterday, last night late. The no-look pass with Fitzpatrick, he couldn't see anything. But Tony, Miami found a way to win.
And maybe the best relief pitcher in football,
That's right.
Fitzmagic.
Mariano, eat your heart out. So Miami put themselves in great position, and they were helped by what happened today. First, Chris, Cleveland without their wide receiving core because of COVID loses to the Jets.
Offensive struggles all day long. Baker Mayfield fumbles the quarterback sneak here. Jets win.
Cleveland beat the Giants last Sunday night. The Giants went to Baltimore, and Lamar Jackson had a big game, Tony.
This running game was good. Got Des Bryant back involved, and the defense showing up again with 6 sacks.
Baltimore in, Giants not eliminated. Pittsburgh won the division with a 17-point comeback.
They're not going to become a running team in Week 16, so they just got to find more ways to throw it, and throw it downfield today is what they did.
Colts damaged as much as anyone in the AFC. They're now on the outside looking, and Kornacki's got all that in a minute. Wasn't pretty, but Kansas City's the #1 seed in the AFC.
Yes, we nitpick all we want, but when they need a big play, they can come up with it with Patrick Mahomes.
Got to go through Arrowhead if you want to get to the Super Bowl from the AFC. Who's the hottest offense in the league? Chicago?
It doesn't sound right when it comes out of your mouth, but it's true. They're on fire. Trubisky's on fire. Go Bears.
Packers, Bears, Soldier Field on Sunday. Bears win. They are in. Jaguars clinch the #1 seed. The Rams go to Seattle. Seattle wins the division.
Yeah, Russell Wilson and Hollister with a big play, but it was the defense of Seattle held the Rams out of the end zone all day.
Big game. Rams, Arizona next week. Washington could have won the division, but didn't. No Alex Smith. Dwayne Haskins, 3 turnovers as the Panthers get the win.
Yeah, bad mistake there. Washington needs to play through their defense and be careful on the offensive side of the ball.
And Tony, Dallas still alive. Philly eliminated.
Cowboys passing game was on fire today. Andy Dalton to a host of receivers.
Cowboys, Giants next week. Winner of that one needs a Washington loss, and they can win the division. NFC East, nobody's going to have a winning record. But as we looked at the best of Week 16, brought to you by Verizon, Steve Kornacki, the NFC East, will crown a champ eventually next week.
Nobody seems to want to win it, but somebody's going to. So let's try to figure it out. You put the groundwork there, Mike. Look, Washington had the chance today. They couldn't take advantage of it. Next week, it'll be Washington and Philly. If Washington wins, that's it. They win the division. They're in. But if Washington loses next week, then the door opens wide for the Cowboys and for the Giants. They play each other. With a Washington loss, Dallas, they're in with the win. They'd be 7-9. Or with a Washington loss and a win by the Giants next week, 6-10, New York would have the tiebreaker, would win the division with double-digit losses, would host a playoff game. That is possible right now. The only thing we know for sure in this division, the Eagles have been eliminated. Again, the winner of this division is going to get the number 4 seed in the NFC here. What about the wild card scenario in the NFC? Let's call that one up right now. Again, the 4th seed is going to go to the NFC East winner. The wild card not popping up, I can tell you. We've been talking about Arizona and Chicago being in contention for that wild card. Chicago win next week, and here it is. Chicago wins next week, and they're in. Here's where things got interesting, though, in the NFC wildcard picture. It's the Rams and Arizona, because they're going to play next week. The Rams now have dropped a couple straight. If Arizona beats the Rams next week, Arizona's in the playoffs. And if Arizona beats the Rams and Chicago wins, Chicago beats Green Bay, guess what? It's the Rams who drop all the way out of the playoffs. It could be Chicago and Arizona. That's in the NFC. And then in the AFC, we just show you again quickly, 4 teams for 3 spots. You got Miami, Baltimore, Cleveland, Indianapolis. Win and they're in, win and they're in, win and they're in next week. Indianapolis is going to need to win and have one of these teams lose or Tennessee collapse.
And Tennessee will win the AFC South if they win tonight. Here are our hometown picks brought to you by Lowe's. America likes the Packers. You see Florio, Tony, and Chris are going with the Titans. Rodney and I will go Green Bay. So let's go to you guys who think Tennessee's going to win and talk about this MVP matchup on the field tonight.
Well, I'm picking against my Aaron Rodgers, but I still love him, okay? Let's just make that sure. Let's look at what makes him so special. It's everything that he brings to the equation. The command and control at the line of scrimmage, but the ability to make magic and improvise. 3-man rush, don't panic. And then what? Are you kidding me? To make that decision, that throw into a crowd of 3 people, pretty impressive.
And on a snowy field, what do you need? A dump truck. And the Titans have one in Derrick Henry. This is what they're going to have to do tonight. Pound that football, get him going, make him be the dominant force, and see if he can put somebody on a poster like this. Derrick Henry, he'll be going for that MVP tonight, Mike.
And good luck tackling him. Tackling tough in the snow?
It's very tough unless you play against one of Coach Dungy's teams that come to Foxborough.
Don't go for an old wound.
Be on me tonight.
It's Christmas week. Don't go for an old wound.
I had to get you, Coach.
It's unfair. We're looking forward to it tonight in Lambeau. Again, huge implications. The Packers can't lock down that number 1 seed because of the Seattle win, but they can take one step closer to have everybody come through there. Tennessee wins the AFC South if they get the win. Al, Chris, and Michelle are waiting. So is Carrie Underwood. Tennessee, Green Bay, Sunday night in the snow at Lambeau. We hope you enjoy it. We'll see you at halftime.
This has been the Hyundai Sunday Night Kickoff. Spanish language audio provided by Telemundo Deportes, or watch tonight's game in Spanish on Universo.